देवाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् जातवेदसे सुनवामसो ममराति यतो निदहाति वेदः स नः पर्षदति दुर्गाणि विश्वान्नावेव सिन्धुम् दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णाम् तपसा ज्वलन्तीम् वैरोचनीम् कर्मफलेषु जुष्टाम् दुर्गाम् देवीगुम् शरणमहम् प्रपद्ये सुतरसि तरसे नमः अग्ने त्वम् पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गाणि विश्वा ऊश्च पृथ्वी बहुला न उर्वी भवातोकायतनयाय शयोः विश्वामिनो दुर्गः जातवेदः सिन्धुन्न नाम दुरितातिपर्षि अग्ने अत्रिवन्मनसा गृढानो अस्माकम् बोध्यविता तनूनाम् वृतनाजिक्रतुम् सहमानमुग्रमग्निगुम् हुवेम परमात् सतस्तात् स नः पर्षदति दुर्गाणि विश्वा क्षामद्देवो अतिदुरितात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषिकमेढ्यो अध्वरेषु सनाचवोताम् नव्यश्च सत्सि स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवम् पिप्रयस्वास्मभ्यम् च सौभगमायजस्व गोघे जुष्टमयुजो निषिक्तम् तवेन्द्र विष्णो रणुसञ्चरेम नाकस्य पृष्ठमभिसंवसानो वैष्णवीम् लोकैकमादयन्ताम् कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारि धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Om Shri Sai Ram. Welcome to the 5th edition of Mano Hridaya Sai. Today's speaker is Dr. Kamakshi Kannan. Having completed her MBBS from Bangalore Medical College, she went on to complete her training in pediatrics in the same college. Later, she did her training as sonologist to widen her area of service to the patients. After brief stints in the central and the state government and abroad, she joined the Sri Sathya Sai General Hospital in April 1991 as pediatrician and sonologist. Swami loves children as they are the future of our world, and Dr. Kamakshi has looked after the well-being of several of Bhagwan's children at the Bhagwan's hospital. She has witnessed firsthand several medical miracles of Bhagwan as part of Bhagwan's Chinna hospital. Over 5 decades of association with Bhagwan, her family had good fortune of serving Bhagwan right from her father Sri Tyagarajan in the Sanatana Sarathi, her brother Dr. Ravi Kumar in the university, her sister Ms. Vasanta Lakshmi in Sri Sathya Sai Primary School, and another sister Mrs. Bharati Hariharan in our own library. It is Bhagwan's immense grace that every member of a family has played a role in his divine mission. Sai Ram.
Humble pranams at the lotus feet of Mother Sai. This morning, as I opened Sai Love for Swami's Darshan, there was a message. Swami says, soft, truthful and sweet speech is an expression of genuine, pure love. So let's go on from there. But Swami, you don't know where to begin and where to end. Though we were into to speak in your language, in Swai's loop for the past 60 years nearly, it was after nearly 3 decades only I could come and serve Swami in his hospital. And Swami has blessed me to be there for another 3 decades now. So we came to Swami while I was still doing my anatomy and physiology. So I used to travel to Whitefield with our physiology book because it was smaller of the 2 books and sit and study there. Wonderful times. And as time passed by, got married and went abroad. My first appointment was in Whitefield, even before Swami's hospital opened. In 72-73, I was working in Vogoradi Memorial Hospital in Whitefield. And I used to cycle up the steep slope of Joy Hills to go for Swami's darshan in Vrindavan. And on the way back, go to the Divine Life, Divine Life, what a society for the blind. Yeah. So, and transcribe books for them. Had a wonderful time. So it took a long time to come back here. It was only my father's wish. Every time he said that you must serve in Swami's hospital, you must serve. I had no way of knowing how I will come back because once you're married, you have got other priorities, which are others' priorities. So I was living very next to the land where Swami was going to build the hospital, but had to wait for a very, very long time. Probably Swami didn't want only an MBBS doctor, he wanted somebody to know a little more than that. So after well qualifying to be a pediatrician, that is after getting 4 children, I applied for my pediatrics as the first option only because I didn't want it. I thought after 15 years I am applying, so the younger children get more marks, so I am not going to get it anyway. So I was very much fond of surgery, so I thought maybe ophthalmology or ENT. So luckily those people have escaped today from my competition, So pediatrics, they said, ma'am, you got such good marks, how come you didn't apply for a master's? It didn't matter in our days. It's only now it matters, you're a MD or a PhD or whatever. It didn't matter, but it was a great experience because 15 years gap made a technological leap. So starting from, the dehydration point where only ORS was sufficient to treat, there are a lot of things and the vaccinations. So it was good that I studied 15 years later. And the day I finished, somebody from here told me, Bhaktavatsalam uncle, I don't know how many of you know him. He told my father that there is no pediatrician in our hospital. Why not you ask your daughter to come? So in the interview was our director, Dr. Balasubramaniam sir. Also my father sitting there, So that's how I started coming to the hospital in 91. Such a wonderful place, so different from the super because it was primitive in those days. But it was amazing because my first patient was somebody who came with convulsions. So I had to do an LP. I said, let me do an LP. I was also out of college, so I was very enthusiastic at the time. So I said, let's do an LP. And I saw an elderly man with printed shirt coming, in a cycle and parking there. And he said, I will help you. So random person, Then I realized he was Professor Venkatraman, surgery professor from from Madurai Medical College, who was serving Swami. Such were the humility of people, though I was a brand new person. He just walked in, he said, Amma, I will hold the baby, you do the LP. Great people. And this sir, within 15 days after that, met with an accident. He was unconscious, he had a head injury. All that he was saying, Sairam Amma, Kuchomma, Madhu Tiskoma, Amma Kuchoma. So all were tuned only to Swami and to the patients they were serving. Amazing people, I met in the hospital. So I was also in the meantime trained in ultrasound, something unthought of before. So how it came about was one day my sister teaching in the school, when I came from Manivilas Hospital, she had brought my, I think at the time, 8-year-old daughter. I said, how come middle of the session you are here? I realized my daughter had developed ptosis and squint, which since we are all medical people, we know it could be as simple as a post-viral neuralgia to a brain tumor. So I was very upset. At the time I was also fresh from pediatric. You can only think of the worst, you see. So I prayed to Swami. We had bhajans. Swami reassured in the form of vibhuti, said not to worry. And anyway, she is fine now. So the result was I took her for a CT to the Jubilee Institute, and while waiting for the report, I walked into the ultrasound department. How Swami tunes people, how Swami prepares people. Because what I was fascinated was not that you could see the organs without cutting in, but the software. I say, little did we know, after all it is Gigo, and I'll tell you later what Swami had told about that. It was, after all, what you put in is what comes out. But I was so fascinated. I said, oh, you measure the femoral length and you are getting the gestational age. You could measure anything and make it as femoral length, it will give the gestational age. At the time, I didn't know. So I went, because the software was so fascinating. It's only because of that I kept going. I also owe a great word of thanks to Dr. Visvesharya, at the time a very famous radiology, state-of-the-art radiology institute, still there, he is not there. So second, third day, I didn't go. Because I had a cesarean in one of my friend's clinics, nursing home, so I didn't go. He called me and royally blasted me. He said, Amma, neevu tamashiಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಬರ್ದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. That's how I got stuck there. Because, you see, in those days, even to move the trackball was an effort for us. It was trackball, we don't know where the trackball, where that goes. Similar thing with the mouse also, Similar thing even with your digit. Because we don't know where the arrow goes, we don't know what you're. So it was like that we started. Out of fear for him, I started learning ultrasound. Attending. Unlike many people who go for 3 months training, 6 months training, I stayed on with them for 3-4 years. Subsequently also many times he has sent a car home to take me to do the scans. I was really fascinated. You see, oh, wonderful thing. You don't cut and you see, and it made me technically very sound because you know the physiology and you know the pathology and you can correlate. So it made me a better clinician. And I had the honor of, then we bought one portable machine. So when I was attending, one day I told Balasubramaniam, sir, why not we do scans in the hospital? He said, okay, if you are willing to use your machine. That's how with the portable scanner, we started doing wonderful things. We could trace everything. Nobody believed in those days, So it was very nice. And I was telling Sir Balasubramaniam, sir, that, sir, if somebody offers to buy something, please buy a better machine, So within a week, somebody offered, those days 7 lakh, it was a GE machine. I think GE people also wouldn't have got straight donation like that. They would have got through the bank, but this gentleman paid and we got a new machine. That was in 94, Swami inaugurated the machine. And I have had the honor of scanning many people from Swami's family itself. Only person I refused to do was on Swami. Because they said, keep your machine ready, you may have to go to Puttaparthi. I said, if it is for Swami, I am not coming. They said, how can you refuse? Even my brother asked me, how did you refuse? I said, I dare not, I dare not do that. So that's the only thing. So this is how the hospital went on. Others. And one day I didn't have cases because it was just the beginning. And I was about to go near the gate when Savitri sent word from the OT saying, ask her if she will assist in the OT. Dr. Sushila Shetty's first case that was on CC was mother. So they wanted somebody to retract. They didn't have assistance. We have worked under minimum, available things there. So I came back and that's how I started getting into the OT, and I call myself the world's greatest retractionist, because the surgeons cannot operate without retraction. So that's how Swami added one more skill to me. And then, as usual, nobody, Dr. Savitri will be in the OT, and any delivery case, if the nurses cannot handle, though they were better than me, they will say, ask if she will manage. And okay, what else to do? So I am proud to say that many of the children whom I delivered are coming for delivery here. Though of course I don't recognize them. So it was a fantastic journey there because I saw the children before they were born through ultrasound, and later on, and up to 14, 15 years, I keep seeing them. So it was a fantastic journey and a great place, as I will tell you more. So I thought today, instead of talking about myself more than this, we will talk about the hospital, how the hospital grew up. And can I have the slide about the hospital, please? Satya Sai General Hospital, today I was telling them, I noted something very strange. This was the inauguration. It was inaugurated on the 28th August, Ganesh Chaturthi day on 1976. I noted something very strange only yesterday when we were making the slides. Next slide, please. How the hospital grew from the seed to the sapling to the tree to today it is the fruit that we are all sitting here in front of Swami. I only noticed yesterday the first two buildings, it is only Satya Sai Hospital. It was not called Satya Sai General Hospital because he also didn't know. Probably because at the time there was only one Satya Sai Hospital. Later on when we expanded and the upstairs was built, that board says Satya Sai General Hospital, So we grew from there on, and then Swami now has brought us here with much more facility. Initially when they started in 76, before that, the place belonged to a gentleman called Mr. Ganpole, who was a Maastrian, who came from Germany, was in Germany for 70, because I knew the doctors who were there before our hospital opened. So he used to run a free clinic for the people in Whitefield. There was no facility available for a long time later also. So he used to run a free clinic for the mother and child and issue free drugs. So one Dr. Shetty and Dr. Makdam used to be there. There was only one shed-like room in that place. And they used to run the clinic. And in 70 or so, he donated the land to Swami. So our Hemchand uncle, who was with us as a volunteer, is there. But Vijayamma, you must be knowing, Anita Charanam Nasti, that uncle used to be one of the trustees at the time. He was also the first trustee of the hospital. Even the previous thing, Ganpala ran it as a health and education trust, but nothing to do with Swami. So once he realized that Satya Sai Baba is doing a lot of good work to the society, so in 70 he donated the land to Swami, but it took another 6 years for Swami to build a place there. I also know that Swami went to HAL hospital because Colonel Jogara was there as the general manager of HAL at the time. So Swami went with him, and the blueprint for the hospital was that of the HAL hospital. So subsequently those doctors, I think one of them was also our initial trustee. And then came Rajeshwari Amma, whom I have not met, not interacted much with. So in 76, the hospital reopened on 28th. On 30th of August 76, the first child was delivered there. There was very basic facilities available. I tell you, 100% Swami alone must have protected. There was nothing much basic, very basic. And then slowly it grew up to be like a model primary health center. And later on, with the facilities adding on, it became a secondary level hospital there. And of course, with the super specialty added, it's a tertiary hospital also. So fantastic people came there. Many of the doctors who started working there didn't know Swami initially. They just wanted to contribute to the society, and they heard that in Whitefield there's a facility available which is free for patients. So let us contribute. So some of them came once a week, some of them came once in 2 weeks, some of them came once in a month from Chennai. We used to have the plastic surgeon Sundarajan coming from there, who used to come on the second Saturday, operate. Then the doctors used to come from Singapore. They used to stay on the weekend and do the replacements and other things. The credit for making a general hospital into a semi-specialty, not super specialty, but a specialty hospital, goes to Dr. Balasubramaniam sir, who was the general hospitals between here and Bharti had only one director, because the other hospital also chief medical officer or superintendent or whatever they were called. Only our Dr. Balasubramaniam was called the director of the hospital. So after he retired, his wife was ailing and then he went back to Tamil Nadu. Great man, he was a pathologist. He was the founder, director of JIPMER, and he was the director of Serum Institute, Pune and Kunnur. So he was an amazing administrator. Under his rule, at least Dr. Ramkumar and myself have enjoyed a lot, because he was very much clinically oriented and he did everything. We had a microtome, so the minute you get the tumor from the OT, immediately he will cut it, he will call us, so we could correlate the ultrasound findings immediately, and he did amazing things. One by one, he got many people who were his students from JIPMER. Many of them, including Dr. Vijayan, who comes now, they were his students. So slowly, they started coming. Several of them did not know Swami much. For example, Chitra came because Dr. Hegde, P.V. Hegde was there. P.V. Hegde was the obstetric specialist. He was a very famous gynecologist. Obstetricians are one thing, gynecologists need a lot of training. So he's a very famous gynecologist, very much devoted to Swami. What we have noted among them, he was a difficult man, like Swami himself had said, very eccentric, vadu yen chesedi manchi doctor ani. We have to keep him, he used to say. Excellent man, he won't touch a patient, but he will tell the diagnosis. He was another of them who never believed ultrasound could see anything. So we always had arguments with him. So they all had such faith in Swami. I remember once, because all these people, all the afternoons I used to spend in the OT. So one day he was lying down there, and then he got up. He said, Dr. Savitri was preparing the patient. He used to give anesthesia and then operate. We didn't have separate anesthesia, otherwise we had to call on somebody. He will give the spinal, he will operate. So one day he told me, I used to be around till they go in. So he told me, Kamakshi, tell Savitri, I have changed my mind. I am not going to do, he had posted for vaginal hysterectomy. He said, I am going to do abdominal hysterectomy. She had already draped the patient and all. So I said, Savitri is not going to do this. Then she said, why? He told me this morning also, he told me, you can't talk to him. He's very short-tempered. Only I used to talk to him. So I said, Yake sir. He said, see, morning 4 o'clock, Swami came in my dream and told, Hegde, if you do what you are planning, you will be in trouble. Then he said, I slept off. 5 o'clock again, Swami said. Still he didn't take him seriously, but he used to nap between surgery. He had the great blessing of Swami that even 5 minutes he will nap off. And you say, sir, case ready there, he will up and doing. So he said, Iga hedidru Swami madbeda anta. Go tell Savitri to change everything. So she had to change the instrument, everything. And they realized that they could never have done the way he had planned. That immense faith in Swami, not to think I am a great doctor, I am a great surgeon, so I know. That was not there in those people who came. So slowly the departments increased there, and we had about 15 different surgical departments. We had wonderful surgeons. The plastic surgeon, I remember Dr. Sundarajan, had operated on a young boy who had cancer of the cheek. So he had no cheek at all. Just imagine a 24, 25-year-old boy. Because of radiation, he had lost everything. And he did complete over periods. I used to assist him at time. Then he brought down a flap from there, like a horn, brought it down along with hairline so that mush also grows for him. Over a period of so many months, he operated. They all came only out of devotion to profession or out of devotion to Swami. So all these people with Swami's, pouring and drenching them with his love in the various interviews, they realized that what Swami was and fell for him, and till they have really become old like me, So some of them are not coming plain because they are getting old and it's difficult to operate and all. So they all got hooked to Swami because of the total love Swami gave them so much importance. We also used to feel we come every day, but one who comes once a month, you are giving so much importance because of their skills. Swami wanted it for the patients here. So amazing days. And I must tell you, this Dr. Hegde used to tell once he had an accident near, I think, Gorantla crosser. Yeah, where you can go to Hindupur, the other side. No, that Gorantla cross, I think. He had an accident and his car got totally damaged. Somehow he hitchhiked and went. And Swami told, Hegde, ನಾನು ಮೇಲೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೆ, ನಿಂದು ಕಾರು ತುಂಬಾ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಆದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಣಕ್ಕೇನೋ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್, ಆ ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲದೆ ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಬಲ್ಲರು ಈ ತರ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಲವ್, that is what we felt. And many of the doctors, for example, Dr. Manjunath who is coming to us even now, is an ardent devotee of Mantralaya. Even now he is now back to Mantralaya. So one day Swami, when he called for interview, we were all sitting, he said, boy, please switch on. Switch ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ, he said. Then he said, good boy. From then on, the amount of opportunities Manjunath sir has had with Swami, till the end. Every meal when he went to Parthi, he had with Swami. And because after that, when Swami had a fracture of his hand, I took him to the mandir. He has not even gone inside the mandir before that. Those days interviews, they were like this, because they used to be inside here. You go and sit around Swami and very casual, and about not even maybe 15 of us or 10 of us or whatever. Another important, that time once he asked each one, Bangaru, ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಬಂಗಾರು, ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? So when Dr. Narayan Murthy said, Swami, anesthesia. So anesthesia na bala dangerous, because life and death in your hand. We were thinking, what about you are there, Swami, how can? So like that he interacted so well. He said at the time, he said, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆದರೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗು ಇರಬೇಕು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ರೈಟ್ ಐ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಐಗೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. He told us once in the interview. Then when once we asked, Dr. Savitri asked him, Swami, ನಮಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Swami said, ಯಾಕೆ, ನಾನಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ. He said, so the GH, while it lasted there, never had a director. I don't think even now is the medical superintendent and not the director for GH division also. So Swami said, I am there. So he is the director for it. So at that time, though people think GH, this super specialty is new to us, every stone that was put here, especially if Swami came, Dr. Savitri, Dolly and I used to bring them. Every time Swami came, just after he came, we used to come there so that we can worship the land that Swami tread. Of course, people who were there at the time had amazing opportunities with Swami, but we always came running to see what did Swami do here. It was difficult even to get in. Those days, the other buildings were not there. We had to search and come from inside, and I think he started in a shed there or something. So that time Savitri asked Swami, ಈ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬಡವರಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸೆಡ್, ಅಮ್ಮ, ಈ ರೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡವರು ಸಾಹುಕಾರರು ಏನಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು, ಅವರು ಪೇಷಂಟು, you mind your business, you don't worry about whether they can afford or not. It's very true. Lot of them come here because it is Swami's hospital, even if they can afford, So Swami said, it is meant for the sick and your duty is to take care of them. So it is like this. The hospital went on, and you play the next slide, to give me some ideas, because so many things are clashing, so don't know what to say. And not this. This early staff included people who were this some presentation I had made at the 35th anniversary there. The first slide when Swami inaugurated, from then on you play. Some of the staff are still with us. Quite a few have retired. Some have left the world. This is the inauguration of the hospital. Next slide, please. So the first child was born on the 30th of August. I just want to show you how the hospital developed now. These three were there. Of course, how the buildings went on. Now, I always used to tell them, if you want to know how GH was built, one should go to the terrace there. Because in the terrace, you will see so many joints. That was one of the reasons we had to leave the building, because it was leaking everywhere. So as probably with the funds and as the time went on, Swami kept on adding buildings. So I always used to say, if they want to know about GH, take them to the terrace. So many joints, part by part it was built. And after Dr. Balasubramaniam took over, the OT complexes improved. We had more OTs. We have also had, we used to do corneal transplants and all there. Once when Swami came, we had an old 20 MA machine there, X-ray machine. So since I was in a radiology institute, I told, sir, nobody is using this. Can we use? He said, yeah, if you can use, you use it. So with the 20 MA, we have even got mediastinal masses and all. There was nothing, not even a stop clock. We used to say, count man, count 2 minutes means 120. You count like that. And then, fix it, like develop it, fix it. And we have seen wonderful things. And one day, Swami standing next to an X-ray machine, he said, this is the dental chair. So naturally, everybody thought he doesn't know much of medicine. So then one of the groups of Italians who came in donated a dental chair. And then that's how the dental department developed like that. Dr. Balasubramaniam just brought in whoever came in, you see. He just added facilities after facilities. Before that, but an amazing place. Ultimately, there are only 3-4 of us. 3 of us have still survived from there. Dr. Ramkumar, Shantala and myself have stood the test of time until now. We are still carrying on. But how the work went on could have been only because of Swami. What complications. I remember once after delivery, Savitri had gone to Puttaparthi. She said, ask her whatever she can manage. She asked her to manage, otherwise to send them to city. There was no facility. There was no ambulance available. There was only one Anglo-Indian fellow who had one car. So that was a taxi which was run as an ambulance. So where to send them? It was I just came out, 5-6 people waiting, and somebody had severe PPH. Only Swami's grace. You cannot imagine, because it's one thing having people, having facilities. Even then you require Swami's grace, but there it was only grace. So any difficult deliveries, you can hear Dr. Savitri shouting, Sai Rama, yenadru maadi. Bartane ilvala, yen madbeku anta. So then he will do, because he wants to hear our voice and noise. So it was amazing like that. Another slide, yeah. So slowly, what used to be the deliveries and cesareans and sterilizations we used to do there went on to include about 15 departments of surgery. That's why they say it's mainly a surgical hospital. Because naturally, surgery, there are so many. Medicine is only one, pediatrics is only one. We cannot say there are subspecialties. But here, starting with those 3, this is an old one. This is as on 2007, but it is the same. So the other types of surgeries have gone up here. Next. So these are some of the staff who started, Dr. Savitri sitting there. They are also from the camps. So Swami said that I'm going to build a hospital. Will you all come and work? Some of them joined the hospital. So these staff were also serving in the camps. Initially, Swami was running the camps. The next one, please. The next one shows this was 10 years before. This is a slide I had, so I put on. Subsequently, I think we are now 10 times more than this staff. Some of the staff are still with us. Next, please. This was on our 25th anniversary, which was 20 years before. This will be our 45th year. One of the rare photos of Dr. Ramkumar. Without Swami's grace, none of us could have been here. So talking about the surgery those days, stop it. I want to tell you something. See, those days, suddenly Swami will say, choose some patient and say do surgery here. So cataracts also, Dr. Subramaniam, he is also no more. He used to come from the city. Swami will send words, he will come. On chosen few, Swami will say you operate on them, then they will operate. So once my father had some prostate problem. My father had many problems, one of which was a prostate problem. So Dr. Swami told Dr. H.S. Bhatt to operate on him. They said, you operate. My father was in Puttaparthi, working in Puttaparthi Sanatan Sarji at the time. So he told H.S. Bhatt, you do the surgery in our hospital in Bangalore. Everything was fixed. On the day of surgery, means the previous day, they realized that anesthetist was not available. So then they told sir, and he said he will operate in Philomenas. We were not aware, means I wasn't here at the time, I think. I'm not very sure. Anyway, my brother was sitting in darshan, and Swami told him, Emra, mi nayanaki operation jarugutundi, you are sitting here, you go. So he came here, and Dr. Savitri and Rajeshwarima got very scared because they had cancelled the surgery, and Swami had sent somebody. So they were very scared, how Swami used to scold if he gets upset. And they said, no, we didn't get an anesthetist, so he's getting operated. He came home looking for my father. House was fully open. Our house is always open. Then he saw my father walking down from Shirdi Baba temple. So Ravi said, what happened? He said, no, Dr. Hegde, but he saw me in Philomenas, and he said, it's like a miracle, Mr. Tyagraj, because I can't feel your prostate anymore. So they were not doing TURPs. They used to do open excisions those days. So my father said, as soon as he saw Ravi, he said, have you bought the ticket to go back to Parthi? He said, Illappa, Swami told me to come because you are getting operated. Now a very strange thing happened. A friend of my father from Alsur Samiti came, one Mr. Sikka, who was the man who put the first telephone and handed it to Swami here in Whitefield Exchange. He was an engineer, So he said, Tyagaraj, I dreamt that, that Swami is doing your surgery, and you are lifting your shirt and showing me, and it is filled with vibhuti, your abdomen, your body is covered with vibhuti. So we said, anyway, Mr. Sikka, operation was not there, so Swami has done it. It was over. Then both of these people went to Parthi, and already veranda was full. So Swami was speaking to the students, and then he saw my brother. He said, Ravi, operation gurinchi cheppu. He said, what is there to say about operation which never happened? So he had to say something, and Swami went into the interview room, I believe. So my brother explained how Mr. Sikka saw in his dream. The whole body was covered with vibhuti, and Swami has done the surgery. So after the darshan, the boys told my brother, sir, before you came, this is exactly what Swami was telling. Swami subsequently in Kodaikanal also once he said, Ollu full vibhuti, he said. So such are the miracles. It is ours like that for many people. When I was talking about this PPH case, I don't know how, even to get blood we had to go. So I walked in with a bottle of blood and told Swami, please save her, she has delivered after 5-6 years, a female child. The family is going to curse the child if something happens to her. You just walk in and something occurs to you to check. And then she also came for a second delivery. Totally the miracles of Swami. I also remember Dr. From Puttaparthi saying that there are times when there were so many infections, they never had the antibiotics which we get now. So she says that when we didn't know what to do, we just used to take so much vibhuti and put it on the wound, and it will heal without any issues. But I do not know how many of us will do that now, because other things are available. So this is the way the hospital grew, and we are not new to the super specialty. I was the first doctor to use the stethoscope here when I came to check the nurses for fitness, So we were here before you all came also. So no wonder, you see, Swami amalgamated, because from a primary healthcare we grew to a secondary healthcare, and now technological leap it is for us also, because so many facilities so many specialists available, so many combined surgeries are happening. So it's the best of the thing that could have happened for the patients who come here. Also previously, even to get fitness, they had to travel all the way there. So it is Swami's immense love that we grew there slowly from the seed into the sapling into the tree, and then now we have become fruits here, and our seeds also will be growing here, I hope. And I think my time is running short, so. So about Balasubramanian sir is one thing I wanted to say. About Anantaram, who is also a plastic surgeon, Swami was so happy with the people who came from there. On our 25th anniversary, mementos were given to some doctors. There was one shot somehow. So quietly, Anantaram handed over what was in his hand. So Swami said, Miranta chusinaro ledo, I could see what happened behind me. See, what I gave him without a thought, he handed it over. Such are the doctors who come and serve in this hospital, Swami said on 25th anniversary. Now, Balasubramanian sir, we all owe him a lot of gratitude. If the hospital grew fit to come into a super specialty, to a tertiary care, it is because of him. He must be 96 or so now. He's in Pondicherry, still actively writing on Swami and various philosophical books and having teleconferencing with various devotees there. Last one. And with Swami's continued blessing, we have come from general, we have become super now. Pranams at Swami's lotus feet and praying for his continued blessings on all of us. Jai Sai Ram.
difficulties. అయితే ఈనాడు ఈ దుఃఖములకు కారణం ఏమిటి?
Therefore, what is the cause for all these sorrows?
మీరు గుర్తించాలి పిల్లలు.
Please understand two things.
ఈ దుఃఖములకు కారణం ఏమిటి?
What is the cause for sorrow?
ఉన్నదాన్ని లక్ష్యం చేయటం లేదు.
What is within you, you don't care for it.
లేని దాని కోసం విచారిస్తున్నారు.
What is outside, you care for
అదే
it.
దుఃఖానికి మూల కారణం.
That is the main cause for sorrow.
ఉన్నదాన్ని అనుభవించు.
Experience and enjoy what is with you.
ఏమాత్రం అనుభవించకుండా లేని దాని కోసం ప్రాకులాడి అశాంతికి గురి అయిపోతున్నావు.
Without enjoying what is with you, you seek what is outside, and this is the cause for sorrow.
అంతేకాదు, పాస్ట్ ఈజ్ పాస్ట్. గడిచిపోయిన దాన్ని మనం విచారించుకోము.
Not only that, don't think about the past. That is past.
పాస్ట్ ఈజ్ పాస్ట్, ఫర్గెట్ ది పాస్ట్.
Forget the past. Past is past.
నడుచుకొని వచ్చిన రోడ్డు చూసుకొని వచ్చాం. నడుచుకొని వచ్చిన రోడ్డు చూసి వచ్చాం.
The road on which you have come, what is the use of seeing that?
నీవు ముందు రోడ్డు చూడాలనుకుంటావు.
See the road ahead of you.
నీవు భవిష్యత్తు గురించి కూడా విచారణ చేయద్దు.
Don't worry about the future.
ఫ్యూచర్ ఈజ్ నాట్ షూర్.
The future is not sure.
Do not worry about future.
Do not worry about the future.
Present.
The present.
This is not ordinary present.
Bhagavan says this is not ordinary present.
This is omnipresent.
This is the omnipresent.
Past results present లో ఉంది.
The results of the past are now in the present.
Future results కూడా present లో ఉంది.
The future results are also in the present.
Present లో be happy.
Therefore, be happy in the present. Do your duty.
ఫ్యూచర్ కూడా మంచిగా వచ్చేస్తుంది.
Therefore, the future will be good.
ఈ దుఃఖానికి కారణము పాస్ట్ ను ఫ్యూచర్ ను చింత చేసుకుంటూ ప్రజెంట్ ను వదిలిపెట్టుతున్నాం.
The cause for sorrow is because you worry about the past and the future and forget the present.
దాని వల్లే దుఃఖం కారణమైపోతుంది.
This is the main reason for sorrow.
నీవు పాస్ట్ ని మర్చిపో,
Forget the past.
ఫ్యూచర్ విషయం యోచించే,
Don't think about the future.
ప్రజెంట్ నువ్వు చక్కగా తీసుకో.
You live properly in the present.
అప్పుడే చక్కని అభివృద్ధికి వస్తాం.
That this will be the correct way of achieving it.
కనుక దుఃఖాన్ని మనం దూరం చేయాలనుకుంటే,
Therefore, in order to put away the sorrow,
ఈ ఫ్యాక్టరీలో ఉండేటువంటి వర్కర్స్ కూడా సరైనటువంటి మార్గంలోకి ఎక్కించాలంటే,
therefore guide the workers on the right
ప్రేమ
path.
మార్గమే చాలు.
This is the right path.
లవ్ ఈజ్ గాడ్, లివ్ ఇన్ లవ్.
Therefore, the right love is God, live in love.
తెల్లవారు లేచి మొదలుకొని రాత్రి పరుండేంత వరకు ప్రేమతోనే మీ కార్యాలను ఆస్వాదించండి.
From morning till night, always live in love.
స్టార్ట్ ది డే విత్ లవ్.
Bhagavan says, start the day with love.
స్పెండ్ ది డే విత్ లవ్.
Spend the day with love.
ఫిల్ ది డే విత్ లవ్.
Fill the day with love.
ఎండ్ ది డే విత్ లవ్.
End the day with love.
ఇది నిజమైనటువంటి మార్గం.
This is the right path.
మనం నవ్వుతూ నవ్వుతూ
Good and bad.
కాలమాత్రిక సర్వము మారుతూనే ఉంటుంటాది.
Everything is changing in this world.
పుట్టిన తక్షణ ఒక చైల్డ్ అవుతాడు.
As soon as it's born, it's a child.
వాడు 10 years బాయ్ అవుతాడు.
After 10 years, it becomes a
30
boy.
years మ్యాన్ అవుతాడు.
Becomes a man after 30 years.
75 years గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ అవుతాడు.
Grandfather after 75 years.
చైల్డ్ బాయ్ మ్యాన్ గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ ఒకడే. కాలమార్పు చేతి ఇంత మార్పులు కలుగుతుంటాయి.
The child, boy, father, grandfather, all are one. It is only the change of time.
అంతా కూడా కదిలిపోయేటువంటిది జగత్.
This is what is always changing in the world.
దీని పేరే జగత్.
That is why it is called Jagat.
జగత్ వచ్చిపోయేటువంటి.
What comes and going, that is Jagat.
ఏది పర్మనెంట్ లేదు ఇక్కడ.
Nothing is permanent
కనుక
here.
ఏదైనా దుఃఖం వస్తే పాసింగ్ క్లౌడ్ అని దాన్ని పంపించు.
Whatever is coming as sorrow, think that this is passing clouds and
దాన్ని
send it
పట్టుకొని
away.
నీవు కూడా బాధపడవద్దు.
You should not worry about it.
మనం స్విమ్ చేసే సమయంలో మీరు పిల్లలు బాగా తెలుసు.
When you swim, you also all know this very well.
ముందున్నటువంటి నీటిని వెనక్కి నెట్టినప్పుడే మనం ముందుకు పోతాం.
Only when the water is coming ahead, when you push it, you go ahead.
అంతేకాని మనం ముందు నీటిని వెనక్కి నెట్టకపోతే మనం ముందుకు పోలేము.
If the water is not going there, you don't go ahead.
కనుక ప్రతి దాన్ని మనం నెట్టి చేయాలి. నెట్టి పోవాలి.
You must push the water and go ahead.
నీవు దేనికి నీవు వెచ్చకూడదు.
You should never be worried about it.
దేని కూడా నువ్వు బాధపడకూడదు.
You should not think about it.
ఇది వాట్ ఇస్ ది షేప్ ఆఫ్ వరీ? ఇట్ ఈస్ మెంటల్ క్రియేటెడ్ ఫియర్.
What is the shape of worry? It is only mental created fear.
అలాంటి మెంటల్ క్రియేటెడ్ నువ్వు ఏమాత్రం కూడా అభివృద్ధి చేసుకోకూడదు.
Never try to go on
ధైర్యంగా
thinking of.
సాహసంగా మనం ఎదుర్కోవాలి.
Always with confidence go ahead.
సత్య మార్గంలో ప్రవేశించాలి.
Go on the right path.
ఓం శివాయ 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 శంభో శంకర ఓం శివాయ శంభో శంకర ఓం శివాయ శంభో శంకర ఓం శివాయ శంభో